Hi guys, and welcome to Fuzzy Love Knots podcast. I'm back, new year, woo! My name is Nina, and you can find me on Instagram as NLaFontaine, and you can find me on Ravelry's Fuzzy Love Knots. There's also a group for the podcast and just general craftiness, and that's under Fuzzy Love Knots as well on Ravelry. So it's been a few weeks since I recorded, and it's just due to holiday stuff. But I'm back, and I have a stack of FOs to show you, and and some progress made on some other things, as well as some packages that I got in the mail, and a giveaway. The first giveaway on the podcast. So it's kind of fun. I hope you guys all had a great holiday, and you all got to see some loved ones and got to just hang out and have a good time, and that it wasn't too stressful on anybody. Let me open my coffee here. It's a little bit on the cloudy side this morning, so I have my coffee in a tumbler so that it stays hot. Hot, hot, hot. And I gotta keep it closed because, we got a new mattress. We got it yesterday, and it's marvelous. It's so nice. It's like one of those super high ones. I feel like Princess and the Pea. It's like super high, and it has a really thick, like not memory foam, but it's like a really thick foam pillow top on it. And we just bought the mattress because we already had a box spring, and we really liked our box spring because it opens up and all of the inside of it is storage. It opens kind of like Murphy bed style, and I absolutely love that. So we store all of our winter clothes under in the summer and vice versa, so we can rotate our closet out. And then any extra fiber stash or yarn that I'm not currently, if it's like deep stash, it's under the bed as well in bags. And so I didn't want to get rid of the glorious extra storage that we have because of the box spring. So we just ordered the mattress, and the mattress was higher, like taller than our older mattress. And so we knew that when we got it. But when you get it like in the room and in place, it's like I feel like I'm on top of the mountains or something. It's so funny. So rather than filming on the floor today in front of my stash, and with the light behind me, I thought I'd film here, and I'm on my bed, and it's way more comfortable than sitting on the floor for an hour and a half, and B, the lighting is much, much better and much more conducive to filming because I'm not backlit, I'm lit like I'm supposed to be. So if you guys think this is okay, let me know. It's just kind of white back here, and my lights, I have my twinkle lights up, so let me know. Maybe we can change it up, film kind of some different places. Maybe next time I'll try to see if I can film on my couch. My couch in the living room is like bright red and it's kind of fun. So maybe we can do that. But yeah, so let me take another sip of coffee and we'll get to it. One of the office buildings near my house has like the fire alarm going off, like the evacuation alarm. So I hope you can't hear that because it's really loud. Also, the office building next door is still renovating, so they might choose to, I don't know, cut metal or throw extra walls outside of windows, in the middle of the podcast. So we'll see how this goes. I'm recording in the morning. I don't usually do that, so we'll see. Okay. I'll put this here. Okay, so let's do finished objects first because I think it's super fun. So, last time I was working on a hat out of some, I'm calling it faux spun because I don't know what the yarn is, but it looks like hand spun, but it's not hand spun. It's mill spun that looks like hand spun. And I was saying how I thought maybe it was mill ends, kind of all spun together to look like hand spun. So this is what the yarn looks like. This is the leftovers. I'm going to turn all of this into a pom-pom for the top of the hat. So I use all of it. But this is what finished hat looks like. I think it turned out so cute. I love that some of the sections are larger than the others. So started with the purple and pink, and then went into pink and orange, and then went into orange and teal, and then went into orange and red. And I have just a little bit of the orange and red left, and then it goes into the yellow and red. And I made it a little slouchy. I'll put it on. I start with a 2x2 rib. I cast on, I can't remember how much I cast on, but the kind of recipe pattern I used, it was a mix of my own and Rachel from the Woolen Spinning podcast. She came out with a really cool pattern. It's a hat pattern, a toque pattern that is made specifically for hand spun, and you can use your wraps per inch to find what weight yarn you have, and then based on that you can choose your hat pattern. So she tells you, okay, so if your yarn is 12 wraps per inch, it is this, so it's sport weight, and then for sport weight you cast on however many stitches, and then she gives you the pattern based on that. So that's really, I think, fun because sometimes as spinners you spin stuff and it might not be all fingering, or it might not be all sport, or it might not be all DK or whatever, and so it's, or maybe you don't know what the wraps per inch for a fingering should be, and so the pattern tells you. And it's a really exhaustive pattern, and she has sizes all the way from children's all the way up through extra large men's. So if you're a spinner, or if you're just really looking for a really good hat pattern that has like all the sizes, I really recommend looking at that. I don't know, I think on Ravelry she goes by Welford Pearls. That's what she goes by. So I used that for the cast on to determine how many stitches I should cast on, because I just didn't feel like doing any math. And this is about a sport weight. So I just said, oh, it looks like sport weight. And I think I did the wraps per inch just to confirm that I wouldn't be casting on something that was too large. And then I cast on that amount, and it worked great. It fit great. So I just continued until I thought it was slouchy enough. And then I think it was divisible by 10. So then I just knit 9, knit 2 together, knit 9, knit 2 together all the way around. And then next round, knit 8, knit 2 together, knit 8, knit 2 together. So that's how I got the decreases. So here's what the decreases look like. Really pretty kind of star pattern decreases. I'll put it on so you can see. So I like my hats a little on the slouchy side. Not crazy slouchy, but a little bit of slouch. So it's perfect. And I like that I can really pull it down over my ears if I want, if it's really windy, because here it doesn't get ultra cold, but it does get windy. So I'm thinking, oh, how this is going to be, let's just pretend that this is the pom-pom, right? It's going to be so cute with this gigantic pom-pom on the back of it. And I like that the red finished on top, so with the pom-pom, it won't be covering up like a different color. And then with the length of the hat too, like the pom-pom won't, this yarn isn't heavy because it's not too heavy. Not like something I'll show you later. Oh my god. And so the weight of the pom-pom won't like weigh it down too much. Yeah, but I really like it. And if I want it more beanie style, you know, I can fold the brim up and pull it down more if I want that. But it still has a little bit of a top slouch with that. So I think this is like the perfect length hat for me. I am going to have some hat patterns coming out this year, so I think this height hat will definitely be in that set of patterns because I really like that. So that is that. And then I'll do the pom-pom this week. I'll wash it. It doesn't even really need to be blocked. There isn't anything in it that needs to be blocked out. I'll just wash it just to make sure it's clean, and then I'll put the pom-pom on. I need to get a pom-pom maker though, because I'll talk about it in the next FO. The one that I have is one of those, it's like 4 separate pieces. You wrap the two together, you connect them, you cut. It's like a big, huge thing. And I'm going to get one of the blue extra large clover ones, because those just make everything easier. So my next FO has this giant pom-pom, which, seriously, look how heavy it is. This thing, I should have weighed it, really. I swear this thing takes like 50 grams of yarn. This thing is ginormous. So this is my new pattern. I haven't written the pattern up yet, but this will be the new pattern. And it is I'm calling it the hubby hat, because my husband really likes things that cover his ears, but he wears glasses. And so usually things that have ear flaps, or if he wants a longer brim to really pull down over his ears, it covers his not covers his glasses, but pushes down on his glasses, and that's just annoying, and you can get a headache from doing that and stuff like that. So I kind of thought, okay, well, what about like a ear flap, not ear flap? So what I did was, you knit the band flat, and it has some short rows in it, and it's in garter, and it has some short rows in it, so you get this kind of like, you know, just a little bit of an extension. It hasn't been blocked yet, so you get a little bit of an extension over the ears, and it has the same kind of decreases as the other hat does. And this is just knit in like a DK weight merino, and I'll put it on, but it doesn't fit me because this is knit to fit him, but if you can see. So actually it does fit me kind of well. So you knit this part flat in garter, and then you seam up the back, and then you join in the round, and you knit it in the round. But see how it kind of just goes over your ears really well? Like, it just covers your ears, but having like lots of extra fabric here. Like, for some reason, ear flaps always come down to like your jaw, and I don't understand why that would be. So actually, here, I will put on my glasses so you can see what it looks like with glasses on. Okay, so I have my glasses on, so you can see, even though I have large frames, the brim doesn't come down too high on the frames, and my ears are still, here, I'll move my hair so you can see. My ears are still covered, and it fits really well. So I'm going to put this pom-pom on for him. It's kind of a mix of both colors that were used, so it'll be pretty big, really. I mean, I put it on and just kind of tied it before, because I had to take it off to wash it, but I put it, that's what it looked like. I put it on and tied it, and I didn't weigh down the hat too much, like it still stayed on his head. But yeah, so that's that, and that pattern I will write up, and it should be out. I have to have it test knit, obviously, but I'll put a call out for test knitters, and it should be out soon, on the soon side. So that's that. That's the hubby hat. So there's that. It's another finished object. Let me close my glasses, please. Okay, so another finished object is another one of my designs. And this is for my sister-in-law, Claudia. She wanted a, like a neck warmer. And so I knit her a marigold cowl. It hasn't been blocked yet either. And for this, I'm not even going to really block it. I'm going to spritz the lace and then run wires through it and then just block out the lace. Just so it lays more open like that. And this is knit out of the same, there we go. This is knit out of the same yarn that I knit the hubby hat out of, so it's super squishy. I'll put it on so you can see it. And it's up, like, look how stretchy and squishy it is. She didn't want a tassel, so we didn't put a tassel on it. But I love how just, like, it lays right where you want it to. There's not tons of extra fabric in the back. If it's, like, super windy or something, you even can, like, pull it over your shoulders. So, yeah, it'll fit up in her jacket really nicely. I love how it just lays flat. Really great. I'll stretch it so you can see what the lace looks like. Oh my gosh, come on. There you go. The cables. So that is my marigold for Claudia. We're seeing her in a couple weeks, so I needed to get that done so that she could have it. My next finished object was I didn't have a Christmas cast on, because I don't remember what I was knitting on Christmas, but I didn't really have a Christmas cast on, but I did have a New Year's cast on, and this was my New Year's cast on. I knit it all on New Year's Day, and this is the Bow Headband by Janice Reed. And it's not blocked. I didn't do any blocking. It's been kind of cloudy and I just didn't feel like blocking lately. So that's what the lace pattern looks like. It's really simple textured lace. I love that it has these, the ribbing, the garter stitch ribbing in with the simple eyelet lace pattern. So it's a bow headband. So you have these, it increases really swiftly, and then you knit straight for a little bit, and then you decrease really fast, and then have a little stockinette section, and that's where you will tie your knot. And then you have all of this, and then you do the same in reverse on the other side. And I used the Regia tweed in the, I don't know what colorway it is. I'll put it in the show notes. It's the, you know, the neon tweedy bits. And this yarn was given to me by Lotta Lucycat. And here, I'll put it on so you can see how cute it is. There you go. So, it's really cute. I love the colors. Here, when it's blocked, it will be, you know, it'll be like that, and it'll be whiter. I've already worn it several times. I just love how when I block it, I will block it so that these are very round like that. I just love how it's very comfortable. You know, once you tie it, you can just slip it on and off without having to like retie it. And if you tie a square knot, you get your bows lie nice and flat, pretty flat, which is nice. And then you can put it on either side. You can wear it kind of turban style if you want, with it more in front on your forehead. A couple times I've worn it out and about. I've had my hair up in like a really high messy bun. You know, classic ridiculous Nina high bun like that with it. So it's perfect for hiding messy, greasy hair and and keeping baby flyaways out of your face. I really enjoyed it. And it was a super fast knit. I think it's just like a basic, unless you're decreasing or increasing, it's like a basic 4-row repeat. At first it was really difficult for me to memorize it, but I think after about one of these little bow parts, I had it memorized pretty well, and I could just go it. And I just used a little sticker on the chart to just to keep my place on where I was, on which row I was on. Sorry, I need coffee. Haven't had any coffee this morning. I'm drinking my morning coffee now, so it's a little necessary. Okay, so my last finished object this week is my dotted rays shawl. Oh my goodness, guys. I love this thing. I love it so much. So I started it, I hold it up and talk as I'll show you. I started it while I was on vacation for my anniversary. And I knit probably 2/3 of this main section here while I was on vacation. And then I came home and I just kind of finished it. I had 2 skeins of the purple, and then I had 1 skein of that orangey coral. And so what I decided to do was knit all, because each of these you cast on here. I'll explain it without giving away too much of the pattern. You cast on here, and then each one of these wedges, you can kind of see how it's a wedge, like a wedge. Each one of these wedges is short rows. So you turn your short rows at the eyelets. And I decided to knit however many wedges, full wedges I could get in with 1 skein of yarn, with 1 skein of the purple. And then once the skein was, I wasn't going to be able to knit a full wedge with the 1 skein. I striped in the coral. And then I knit 1 more wedge, and this wedge took like 40 grams of yarn almost. And then, because the wedges were getting really big. And then this wedge took a little over 50 grams of yarn. So then after this wedge, I decided to switch to the coral. I did that, and then I striped 1 stripe of the purple at the bottom, and then I did the I-cord bind off. And I just love how Stephen West does. You do the I-cord edging, and then you do an I-cord bind off. And it just, like, look at that perfect corner. I mean, it just looks so glorious, you know. It just looks so neat and finished. And the other corner, I tried to finish it as best as I could. I can poke that little purple stitch in there a little bit more. So it looks a little bit, it's a little bit loose and sloppy, but once I block it, you won't be able to tell so much. So when I block it, I mean, like, this thing is, that's how big it is. I held it up next to my exploration station, and it's almost as long now as my exploration station. It's obviously not as deep. And it does have this kind of like teardrop shape almost. So when I block it, I'm going to block it aggressively this way, so I get as much length out of it as I can. So I'll block it really aggressively this way, but I don't think I'm going to really block it so much down. Maybe I will a little bit. I'll probably just kind of like smooth it, but I won't pull it. I don't even know that I'll use my wires on the bottom part. Some people, when they've I've seen them bind off, and theirs looks very, because of the eyelets on the bottom row, looks very angular, and mine doesn't. Mine looks pretty smooth and rounded. So I think I won't even use my wires on the bottom. I'll just kind of smooth it and kind of pin it out a little bit, just so it gets a little bit better drape. I mean, it's pretty nice already, but because it's like a DK yarn, I knitted a pretty nice loose gauge, so I'm so happy with this. I've been like wearing it because it's been so cloudy the last couple days. I'm wearing it around. I can't wrap it because it's not long enough without me or drapey enough without me blocking it to like really wrap it, because that's how that goes. But I've been wearing it around like this because I just love it so much. It's just so pretty, and I just like am in love with it. I really love it. The yarn is a silk merino blend by Araucania. I'll put it in the notes. What yarn it was. It was the Kanye. It's a cable plied yarn. I really love it. It's like super squishy. Love it. Okay. So those are my finished objects. Works in progress. I dropped the camera. Sorry. Okay, so those are my finished projects. It's now for my works in progress. I did put in a lot of rows on my Holy Chevrons by Stephen West. So I've started the edging, and this is for my mother-in-law. And I'm knitting the large size, but it doesn't look so large, does it? But this yarn really, I've knit with this yarn numerous times, and it really blooms, and it will stretch like crazy when I block it. I will block this one out pretty aggressively. And because it's a singles yarn, when it hits the water, it just goes and like loosens up. Let me take this off. So it'll loosen up and get really nice and lovely. So I started the edging. She decided that she didn't want the edging to be striped. She just wanted it in this kind of corally peachy pink color. So that's what I'm doing. I have one repeat of the edging done. So I think I have like 3 more repeats of the edging to go. And then I bind off. Oh, I timed my bind off. It took me an hour and a half to do the I-cord bind off for the dotted rays. And out of 150 grams of yarn, I have about 50 grams left, just in case you were wondering. And I knit the worsted version. Basically, you just follow the same pattern, and you just bind off when you want, as soon as you're done with one of the wedges. Just in case you're wondering. So that's that. That's my Holy Chevrons. I also put in quite a bit of work yesterday on my Fruity tee. Fruity. This is another one of my patterns. And the original pattern was knit with some lovely Quinta Puntos yarn. And the pattern is available in Spanish through her shop, through Michelle's shop. And it's available in English through my shop. So I'm modifying my pattern this time. It's a very boxy tee, and I'll see if I can put some pictures in here if you haven't seen it yet. So it's a very boxy tee, and it has a little bit of waist shaping just to give it a little bit of a nice silhouette. And the bodice up at the top is in garter stitch, so it lays really nice along the bust line. And because it is a wider cut, you have kind of like a faux sleeve for your t-shirt tank top. I'm calling it a tee. It's a sleeveless tee because you don't knit any sleeves. There's no cast-ons for sleeves. But you get a little bit of a sleeve cap because the body of there's so much positive ease in the body of the tee. So you get a little bit of it tucked under your arm, and then the top kind of folds over your shoulder a little bit. But it's not a true tank top either because you don't bind off and shape in the armhole to get a thinner strap. So that's why I'm calling it a tee. So this one I'm knitting out of a finer yarn. The original pattern calls for worsted, which would be great knit in a wool blend or in like a tubular ribbon linen, like Quince & Co. Kestrel or something like that. It would be like beautiful knit in that, following the original pattern. But I reworked some of the maths, and I am knitting this one in a it's a really kind of thick, thin singles. Some spots are really thick, some spots are super thin, and I'm holding it double, and you can kind of see the colors. It's really beautiful, and you can kind of see what I'm into lately by what I'm wearing. This is what I have so far. I have 5 more rows, and I'm going to start the shaping for the bust. So rather than gradually decreasing a few stitches up the sides, I'm doing more of a sharper decrease. So it'll give me more of like not an empire waist kind of look, but like it'll tuck it in more on the sides more quickly into my natural waist and leave it a little bit more loose and much more flowy, drapey through the stomach area. So this is what I have so far. And you can definitely see the difference in thickness and texture throughout, which I actually really like. The yarn is a merino silk linen blend, so you can see the linen are those flecks of white, and the silk too. It's really, really, really soft. I think it'll be perfect for spring and fall, and it's like super squishy, super lovely. So I just have a little bit more, and then I'll start my decreases, and this will be the front. For the decreases in the back, I'm going to run them all not quite so towards the center. And also a difference for the pattern. You can kind of just see how it will look on the top. It'll be really pretty. I did a garter stitch border instead of just knitting stockinette. In the pattern, you use a twisted German cast on, so your edge doesn't curl. So you can just knit in stockinette without it curling up on you. So that's that. So I've made some really good progress on this. I think I knit like almost 50 rows on this yesterday. Yeah, so that's that. Here's what the yarn looks like in the cake, in case you wanted to see it. I think I'll be able to do most of the whole tee with these 2 cakes. I just think it's so pretty. You can really get a sense of the color. Jenny from Tiny Paper Foxes podcast, she does a really great job of really, I think the best word for it would be just curating her wardrobe and her projects, and picking which projects she wants to knit and really pairing them together. She knits and she sews, and she sews. And she sews some wonderfully beautiful skirts, and she knits sweaters and shawls, and she's just really great at pairing her two crafts together. And I was just really inspired by this and this together. I thought, oh, handmade wardrobe. So this tee definitely can go with this shawl. I wear a lot of black, and I wear a lot of like neutral colors paired with really, really bright colors. So this is something that I'm going to wear all the time. I know it. And with the way that the weather is here in Santiago, it's really hot for like the next couple months. Will be hot nonstop probably until almost the end of March, and then it'll start to cool down a lot. So I'll be able to wear that all through the winter. I mean, like, if I wear a tank top underneath that, I could wear that and then a cardigan and a shawl, and I'll be set. Unless it's raining or like super, super windy or something like that. So I'm really pleased about that. Okay, so I have some, what should we do first? Spinning? Should we do spinning first, or should we do like acquisitions first? I don't know, let's do spinning first. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, there was this thing floating around Instagram, and it was Get Your Yarn Wish Granted. Hold on, I need coffee. Get Your Yarn Wish Granted, and it might still kind of like randomly be going around, but usually it pops up around the holidays. I saw it last year, but I didn't participate because I kind of thought, who really would see mine and like grant it, you know, like who would go for it? So, yeah, but so I did it, and Maria Ninja Chickens like messaged me. I did it before I went to sleep. I posted the thing. I said I would really like a box of goodies to randomly spin up, card up, spin some textured yarns, because that kind of thing isn't available here for me to get readily. I don't really, unless I buy it online and ship it in and possibly pay import taxes on it, I don't really have like silk noil and just a bunch of different fibers and locks and stuff available to me here. So that's what I asked for, and I did it before I went to bed, and I woke up and boom, wish granted. And I was like so surprised and so excited that I was going to be getting this package in the mail. And Maria is a beautiful person, and she's wonderful, and her Instagram feed is amazing. So check it out. She also has a brand new shawl pattern out that is beautiful. It's lace on the sides with a center panel of brioche, which is just gorgeous. So you guys should check that out too. I believe it's called, I'll put it here because I'm not gonna be able to say it. It's like Drekin or something like that. I'll write it here. But I already have my pattern, and I'm like, it uses a lot of yarn. I'm like totally stash diving, or I'm thinking about spinning something for it. I'm really looking forward to knitting it. But she sent me a whole box full of goodies. She messaged me and said, I stuffed it so full I can't even put a note in it. I'm so sorry. So I got the box and I opened it up, and I like almost started crying because it's so full of stuff. So let me show you. So this is what I got. I got a whole box full of goodies. Okay, I won't go through everything because it's a lot of stuff. But I'll just kind of hold up some stuff and show you. Maybe I will go through everything. I don't know. We'll see. Some bamboo. Silk pencil roving. Lots of random, like, pre-carded bits. Like, these are alpaca, Angora, Surrey alpaca, random things. She sent some silk noil. I Love these. Like, love this. I've already played with it and carded some of it into some Rolex, which I'll show you in a second. And I'm going to have to buy some of this because this is awesome. She sent some locks. So lots of locks in there. She sent, I don't know what it is. It's just pretty. I'm going to make some Rolex with this and this. And then probably some of these like pink locks on top. I think it'd be really pretty. More mohair. Random Shetland Angelina Firestar stuff. Cocoons. Silk cocoons. And then she sent, I don't know where it is. It's probably either in the bottom of the box still, or it's in my fiber, in my spinning basket, I think. She sent a whole little bag full of just like Firestar, like different colored Firestar. Some Stellina. Some Sari Silk. I mean, it's like tons of stuff. So I'm really, really excited. I couldn't wait to like, let me get this out of the way. I couldn't wait to like start playing with it. So I took a new class on Craftsy, 2 new classes on Craftsy. One is fiber prep for spinning, and it goes through all the different kinds of fiber prep. So if you're going to use your drum carder, hand cards, blending boards, hand combs, and hackles. So any kind of fiber prep basically that you would be doing at home that's a non-industrial mill fiber prep. Non-commercial. And I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Woo! Okay. And it was great. I'll put the name of the class down here and the instructor. Wonderful. I learned a lot, and I mainly kind of just wanted to learn how to blend stuff, how to go about, you know, she shows you how to use a diz. I need to buy a diz. But I can't find a diz that I like. If anybody spins, and if anybody, you know, does their own fiber prep, and you can recommend a really nice diz, please let me know. I think I would prefer something that is thinner and something that has multiple holes, but something that's bigger for me to hold on to. I have nerve problems, and so my grip isn't always the best sometimes, and so I need something larger and sturdier to hold on to. Those little, very pretty clay ones that are kind of like disc, like wedge shaped, I don't think that those would work for me. I need something that's like a larger thing that I can really push on. Yeah, so if you can think of something, let me know, because I would really appreciate it. Because what I was using for a diz was my needle gauge. I figure that has a whole bunch of different size holes on it, and when I was dizzing off my hand cards, I was pulling through like locks and stuff, and so I kind of wanted to keep those whole. So I was using a larger hole because I basically was making hand-pulled roving off of my hand cards. So I'm not like the best at it, obviously, But if you guys would like to know how I did that, I totally would consider maybe trying to film a little tutorial for you, or how I make Rolags off of my hand cards, and how I blend off of them. Like I could show you how I do that too. I think that might be fun if you guys were wondering, because I know, like, I mean, I have a fairly large apartment, but that doesn't mean that I have space or like room for a whole room for like fiber prep stuff. You know, like, would I love a drum carder? Yeah. Would I use it? Sure. Like, but I don't have room for a drum carder. I don't have room to just like have it be sitting out somewhere. So I got some hand cards, and I've actually been using them quite a lot. So let me show you what I made and what I spun. Oh, I'll say, I also signed up and took the crafty class by, gosh, I'm going to butcher her name because I'm horrible at names. It's the Spinning Textured Yarns or Spinning Art Yarn by Jacey Faulkner. I think that's her name. Jacey Boyce Faulkner, maybe. And I took her class on spinning worsted to woolen, and I really enjoyed it. I think she's an excellent teacher. The way she describes how to do things is really conducive to how I learn. So I decided when that class popped up on Craftsy, I jumped on it. So those two classes together, I felt were like, there's no accident that they were filmed and released. You know, they were released together, kind of, because they go hand in hand. Fiber prep and spinning textured yarns. So I thought, you know, in some ways spinning a textured yarn takes a lot more control than spinning a smooth yarn. So learning to spin a textured yarn and learning to kind of like let go of some of that crazy control you want to have when you're smoothing everything out and making a nice fine yarn would teach me a lot. I don't really consider myself like an art yarn person. Well, I do appreciate it and think it's pretty and everything. It's not what I would like to knit with, so I don't see myself spinning a whole bunch of certain types of yarn. Like, I'd like to core spin some stuff, and I'd like to do maybe some different plying techniques, but I don't really see myself like knitting with like beehives or cocoons or anything like that, or even really thick and thin. That's just not my thing. But I will show you what I made. So I made some little Rolags. So like this one has a lock in it. Here's the lock right here. And this is just pink merino. And it has some silk in it. Like, here's some silk. Different colored silk. Merino. Oh, this is one that got torn in half with the lock. I was showing my mom. I was like FaceTiming with my mom, and she was asking what I was up to. So I was trying to explain to her. That's probably where it got torn off, actually. Trying to explain to her I was making Rolags and why you would spin from a Rolag and how it works and all of that. So I tore one in half so she could like see inside the middle. And I was trying to explain to her how, like, when you spin and it pulls out, it drafts so easy, and it like spins woolen because it's already coming off twisted kind of and from other directions. And she was like, oh. So yeah. So some of these so some of these have the silk noil in it. So you can see that. You can see that there. I won't mess with it and pull it apart too much, but you can see the silk noil there and there, kind of peppered throughout. And these are, when I make the Rolags, oh, here's some more with the noil. It's just so pretty. It's just so like, the texture is just so pretty. So when I make them, I just kind of like, I lay them out in this giant it's one of those boxy giant Ziploc bags. Because I feel like if I'm going to take a picture of them, I'll roll them up. You know, I'll roll them up so they look all pretty. But storing them like this, like that looks pretty for taking pictures, you know. But storing them like this is not conducive to anything. Like it doesn't save anything. It's easier to spin if I can just reach in, grab one, spin it. So that's that. I also made up some more of this fiber, and instead of pulling it off into Rollags, I dizzed it with my janky makeshift diz, my needle gauge, into hand-pulled roving, and made some little fuzzling, battling things, and spun that, and this is what that is. So this is like my first skein of textured art yarn. I kept it as singles. This is also my first low twist singles that I've spun. I've spun some other singles a couple months ago, and I'm happy with how they turned out, but there's too much twist in them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to set the twist. I'm going to full them, not with friction. I'm just going to shock them, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll put the skein on the Swift, and then run it back through the wheel the other way and see if I can take some of that twist out, and then maybe reset them. See if that helps, because they're overspun for singles because I was too afraid about spinning them at a lower twist. But here's this. So you can see the silk in there. This is, like I said, pink merino. There's some of that silk noil in there. Here's a lock, like whole locks just hanging out, fuzzing out. Oh, there's another lock that got spun in. Maybe I'll open this up so you can see it a little bit better. It's not a whole lot. I think it's like 20 yards or 30 yards or something like that. But like, look how pretty those locks are. Whole locks in there. And I did full this so it'd stay together better. I tried to spin it thick and thin, but I think I folded it too much for the thick and thin to really be pretty. You can see like that big old blob of silk. So I think this turned out rather well for my first attempt at singles. There's some places where it's a little twisty still like that, but it's not anything crazy. Like when I let it go, it's I think as balanced as a single that's this uneven can be. Like it's not twisting up on itself or anything. So I'm really happy with this. Like this might even get knit up as a stripe in something, or I love how fuzzy it is, you know. It's consistent enough, like it's consistent enough as a bulky worsted that that I could knit it in something that uses worsted yarn, as long as I didn't mind those super bulky places. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. I think it turned out really fun, and I think those Rollags will be really nice to spin up. I'll do that soon. Maybe I'll do that when I'm done with my current project. I'll do that. Okay, so something else that's really awesome is okay, so my friend Amy, her screen name is, I believe it's AmyFlorence on Ravelry, opened her Etsy shop, and she dyes some beautiful fiber. I've gotten some fiber from her before in the past that I've spun up. I'm saving one of the skeins. It's winking at me now saying, spin me, but I'm not spinning it yet. I'm saving that skein, that braid of fiber. But her skeins spin up beautifully. In fact, here, let me go get one of the skeins that I've already spun from her fiber. Okay, so this is some fiber that I spun from Amy. It was dyed by Amy. It's just plain old merino, and I got 225 yards, fingering weight, spun it worsted. It's a little overspun, and oh, stupid Nina. It's like, wrong side. There you go. But it's spun up really beautifully. Tacks in the way. It's really soft. The colors are a little warmer than that. It's a little cooler than it really looks like it is. So when she opened her Etsy shop, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy some stuff. So I saw this fiber. There's her logo and her card. Her card looks exactly the same. Great fiber, dyed in Great Britain. I love that. I think it's awesome. strandeddyeworks is her blog right there. And she has an Etsy shop from the same name. So when I saw this fiber, I thought, oh, wonderful colors, Nina colors. I love them. And this is merino nylon. The colorway is garden pansy. I love it. So I'm going to spin this. And then she said, hey, I got some sock blanks in. I'm going to dye up. And I said, oh, dye me one. And she said, okay, what colors do you want? And I said, I'm going to buy this fiber. Can you dye me a sock blank with these colors that's speckled so that I can spin this fiber? This has some white in it and stuff, so I know that this will be more muted than the yarn that she dyes. So I thought it would be fun to have similar colors, but I'll spin this into a fingering weight. And then I will also spin some white just for extra yardage on its own. I have some white targhee that will be really nice with this, I think. And then I will use the sock blank, and then I will knit it all together in like this giant glorious hand spun shawl. So this is the fiber that I'll spin, and this is the sock blank. And oh my gosh, guys, I want another one of these sock blanks because it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So I asked her to use the garden pansy colors as inspiration, but dye it speckled, and this is what she came up with. And I love it. I love all of it. Every bit of it is like so wonderful. I think it's like 460 yards or something like that. Oh. I want to just go like this. I just go like this. Just wear it like this. It's just like so pretty. But all those colors are definitely there. Oh, I love it. It's just going to be gorgeous. So, if you guys are looking for fiber, or sock blanks, lovely sock blanks, like, I mean, just look at that. She also has, skeins, you know. Check her out, because she's wonderful. She ships really fast, and she's just a really awesome knitter and spinner and friend. And then in the box was also a Christmas present for me, and I'd seen this on her Instagram, and I thought, oh, some lovely lucky person gets a hand spun shawl. And this fiber, when she had posted pictures of it when she was spinning it, I thought was just so pretty, and she's a really great spinner, and then she was posting pictures of the shawl, and I thought, not only did she spin the yarn, but then she knit it into this shawl. What a labor of love, and you know. And so I was commenting on like, oh, what a lucky person. And then it showed up in my box. So she sent me a hand-spun hitchhiker. And look at how gorgeous this is. I'm like, oh. When she sent it, it was like 90 degrees out the week of Christmas. I haven't been wearing it at all. But it's like, look how beautiful it is. I love it. I just love it so much. I can't wait for it to be cooler. Because like this is like woolly. I think what I'll do is I'll wear it like this. And then I think I'll tie these two sides together. Maybe not. Yeah, like that. That's probably how I'll end up wearing it. Because these like asymmetric shawls always like kill me and I never know how to style them. So I'll probably wear it like that. That's probably how I'll wear it. But it's like, oh, it's just like, it's so fuzzy and woolly, and her spinning is so nice and consistent. Oh my God. I'd like die to be able to spin like this. She just bought a matchless. And that's like on my 5-year plan. Maybe it's on my 10-year plan. But thank you, Amy, so much. I love it so much. I can't wait for it to get cooler so I can wrap up in this and bury my nose in your lovely, lovely shawl. So, a couple more things. I got I got a sweater's quantity of this, since we're talking about acquisitions. I got a sweater's quantity of this. It is Cuenta Puntos, which is Michelle's yarn company. And it is merino and silk tweed, and you can see those little silk tweedy bits going all through it. And I just thought, what a lovely color. I've knit with this, where's my swatch? I swatched for a upcoming pattern in this yarn. Let me get a swatch. Let me see if I can find it. And I absolutely loved it. I knit the swatch. Anyways, I knit with it, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with it, and I don't know where the swatch is. It's missing now. Anyway, I fell in love with it, and I like was knitting the swatch, and I was like, oh, I need to have a sweater's quantity of this yarn. So I went back in and I got a sweater quantity in this color. The other color, the color I was knitting with is like a rosy color, like a rosy mauve, which is pretty, which is really pretty, but I don't think I would wear like a straight up mauve sweater. But this I'd wear a sweater of. So the sweater I'm going to knit is by Amy Herzog, and it's called Sunset Drive. It's a pullover. I'll see if I can put a picture in here of it. And I'm going to, rather than doing all the math myself, I have a lot of math coming up and that I'm doing because of patterns that I'm writing and stuff. So I'm going to order, I'm going to do the pattern through Custom Fit, Amy Herzog's Custom Fit website and service. And for those of you who don't know what Custom Fit is here's what it is. You take the yarn you're going to knit your sweater out of, and you swatch. You find a fabric that you love for your sweater, and you input your swatch information, you input your measurements, and you input the pattern you want, and you determine what fit you want your sweater to have. Whether it's like super fitted and slim fit, or a regular or more relaxed fit. So the template can build in ease for you. And then it will write your pattern for you based on your measurements and your gauge swatch and how much ease you want in your pattern. And so rather than me doing my swatch and buying the pattern on its own and then doing all the math myself, I'm just going to order it through Custom Fit and have them do all of the work for me. The pattern's really pretty. It is solid in the back, and then on the sleeves and the whole front is this really pretty kind of arrowhead lace pattern. And this really is like a sport weight. And the pattern calls for fingering weight, but because you input your gauge swatch, it won't be a problem. And because it's a lace, like it's all lace in front, I think it'll be really pretty in this. And I think I'll probably have enough left over to do, like, stripe it in a shawl or something. So I'll have, thanks Jenny for giving me all these ideas on matching garments now. I'll have some matching garments. So there's that. So the last thing I want to talk about is the giveaway. So I was over at Michelle's shop. Michelle Bossier's, I think I'm saying her name right. I'm probably totally butchering her name. I'm horrible with names. Michelle's shop. And picking up some yarn. And I was talking to her. I was like, hey, do you think that maybe you would be interested in sponsoring a giveaway for the podcast? And she said, of course. I think that's a wonderful idea. So I have a giveaway with some yarn from Michelle, and it's going to be in this super cute tote. How cute is this tote? So I saw this tote in the store like months ago, and I already have enough tote bags, right? But I bought one for my mother-in-law because she's started knitting and she needs like project bags. So I bought one for her, and the whole time, every time I pass by her room and I see it hanging on a doorknob, I want one, right? So I go back, and buying one for the podcast is the perfect excuse for me to buy one for myself as well. So it's going to come in this really cute tote. And here's what is in the giveaway. Some beautiful yarn dyed by Michelle. It's merino fingering. And she said it was around 400 yards. There's no tag on it. But look how beautiful this skein is. I thought this would just be gorgeous for a shawl. It'd be really easy if you wanted to stripe it, to pair it with a charcoal or other blues or golds. So this is going to be the main part of the giveaway, this skein. And then Michelle also donated, oh, it's just so, I mean, look how, like, it's so, it won't even, like, it's just so squishy. And I've knit with her yarn, you know, many times, and it's like gorgeous, 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 gorgeous stuff. Michelle also donated a pair of Addy needles. .3.5 millimeter, because that's like shawl size. No, the gauge would be really great for a shawl. So thank you, Michelle, for donating those. And then I'm adding some of my favorite little things. These are my favorite stickers for following along on patterns. If you knit from charts, they're great because you can still see through them to see your line on the chart, but you can easily mark where you are on the chart, and they come in a little book so they're not floating all over the place. A little notebook that matches the theme of the tote. Some cute magnets that match the tote. Because how could you resist little cute Parisian magnets? And then I'll also throw in some Chilean goodies too. Some candy, maybe some little pieces of Chilean pottery or something like that. So, this is going to be an Instagram giveaway. Just because I think that has potential to reach the most people. So if you're watching this and you want to enter the giveaway, head on over to Instagram. Maybe I'll open it up on Ravelry too. I'll open a thread up on Ravelry for the giveaway also, and then that way I can pull from both. So yeah, I'll open a thread on Ravelry, or you can enter on Instagram, and then how to enter will be on Instagram. If you enter on Instagram, you'll need to like probably me and Michelle. And yeah. And then we'll let this go for till I post the podcast next time. I'll draw the winner on the next podcast. Okay? So, how's that? Pretty good stuff going on. We saw just some kind of blathery stuff. Oh, P.S. My pillows are so cute. The little Parisian girl made me think of that. We saw Star Wars, and it was really good. I won't say more than that in case people don't like Star Wars or don't care about it or haven't seen it yet and they don't want spoilers. But we thought it was really good, and we are not fans of the prequels. We are fans of the original. As someone a blogger we watched says, the orig tridge. So we were really pleased with the movie, and we are going to go see it again on Friday in IMAX. We saw it like normal movie theater the weekend it came out. For our anniversary. It came out on our anniversary in Chile. So we saw that. The holidays were really great. We just kind of relaxed and didn't really do much. Yeah. Just sat, and I've been watching a lot of just like random documentaries. Random like history shows and stuff, like history of British castles, like it's a multi-part, has multiple parts and stuff like that, which I really like that kind of stuff. I know it's random. Oh, okay, so if you like Korean dramas, Japanese dramas, like not soap operas, but like that kind of a thing, there's a new show on Netflix, and it's one of those Netflix produced shows that is a Japanese drama called Atelier, and it's really good. It's so good. Me and Guillermo watched the whole thing in like, I think 2 days. We watched all the episodes. It's subtitled, obviously. And it is about this girl whose father was a silk maker, and she left her small town to go to Tokyo, I believe, and to like live her dream in the fashion industry. So she applied at all these jobs, all these companies, and they all rejected her, and this one small lingerie boutique hired her, and it's a very it's a custom made lingerie boutique, and but this girl, like, she's like in love with fabric and in love with fiber, and she knows the properties of all of these different fabrics and what they should be used for and all this, and she's really passionate about it and stuff, and so it's just like it's really funny and really cute. So if you're into that kind of thing, I thought even someone who isn't into it necessarily could still appreciate the craftiness and the love of something having the love of something and the passion for something, if you wanted to watch it. So it's called Atelier, and it's on Netflix, and it's one of those, Netflix produced Netflix shows. So it'll come up like right on the top of the screen when you log on. In case you were looking for something new to watch and you're into those Asian drama things. It's really funny. I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to mention a few podcasts real quick. I'm so scatterbrained. I'm like, a few podcasts real quick that I've really been enjoying lately, and that I just generally think are really awesome. And I've just been like rewatching episodes because I think they're so good. So one is Tiny Paper Foxes, which I mentioned earlier in the podcast. And Jenny and Devin are I'm amazed at how much they create in between each episode. Like, he spins. He's a photographer, and he's really interested in how things are made and stuff like that. And so he's been getting into spinning lately. And so much so that now I think his fiber stash rivals her yarn stash. And he just bought his first wheel, and I'm so excited to see what he does with it. And I know he's gonna love it, because some of the stuff he's been spinning on his spindle is just beautiful. And Jenny, like I said before, she's just such an inspiration with really curating her wardrobe, and everything she knits is gorgeous, and she just has a really great aesthetic. And their podcast is like really well produced. It's really beautiful. So that's Tiny Paper Foxes. And another one is the Wool and Spinning podcast from Rachel, and that is spinning. It's all spinning techniques, fiber prep techniques, and all of the knitting she shows on the podcast. 90% of the knitting she shows on the podcast is all with her hand spun. So it's cool because you can see how she adapts patterns to be used with hand spun, how she goes through the process of selecting a pattern to use with her hand spun, how she spins for a specific pattern, stuff like that. So you can check that out. And all of these are on YouTube also. And then the last one I want to talk about today is Andre Sue Knits. And Andy, hi Andy. She always says, hi Andy. Or she always says like, hi people. Andy's really awesome. She's a knitter, a spinner, and she does fiber prep. I think she sells her like roll ags and stuff she pulls off of her blending board. And she dyes yarn. So she's just kind of like, she does everything. Her podcast is also really well produced. And she's just such a sweet gal. And anytime I just need to kind of relax, I love to just put on back episodes. She has lots of episodes. I think she's on her like 35th or 36th, high 30s episodes. So she has lots of back episodes. And she just has such a nice relaxing voice, and you can just put it on and just like listen to her talk to you and hang out with you. So, also her daughters also craft. So one of her daughters needle felts, beautiful little things, and her other daughter dyes yarn, which she also sells in her shop. So, and Andy has an Etsy shop. I don't know if I mentioned that. Andre Sue Knits Etsy shop. And so they do a really great job of incorporating tutorials into the podcast and stuff like that. So if that's something else that interests you, then you can check that out also. So, okay, that's really it this time, because this is a really, really, really long episode. Okay. Have a good week. Happy knitting. Happy spinning. Hope you guys enjoy just the weather, whatever weather you have. And,